What is up? We're back with some more pro wrestling talk, some more pro wrestling news, and hitting the news cycle today. This breaking news, this quote from Bill Goldberg talking about how he tried to politic his way into Sting's retirement match. As you know, everyone knows Sting's retirement match, his final match is upcoming a few months away in an AEW pay-per-view in Greensboro, North Carolina. And Goldberg goes on to speak about how Sting was a big part of him getting into the world of pro wrestling, you know, that he didn't have much respect or love for the business. I'm paraphrasing here. Y'all see the quote, make of it what you will. Get in the comments and let me know what you think. But more or less that he didn't really pay attention to wrestling or really care for it. But he saw that Sting was a ordinary guy who went on to do extraordinary things in the wrestling ring. And no question, Sting has had an amazing career. Still, I think it's good too to see, on a side note, Sting retiring in AEW, as that whole thing we saw go down in WWE was just not it. I mean, forget the fact that he got injured. Forget the fact that it went how it went and it wasn't all that good, and he went 0 for 2 in WWE rings, I guess we could say. In because didn't he do I think he did a Survivor Series match as well, if I'm not mistaken, but he lost to Triple H at WrestleMania, and then he lost to Seth Rollins at that one pay-per-view, and he got hurt. It just all seemed kind of snake bitten and really didn't work out. And you know, it's better this way, that this is his real retirement, as after that all happened, he was honored at a Hall of Fame situation with WWE, and he gave a little speech and said he was done with wrestling, and it just never really felt right. You know, not just the fact that, again, it was snake bitten, it went wrong, he got hurt, and I gotta say too, it made no sense for him to lose that match against Seth Rollins. You know, that was like WWE kind of shitting on him, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a match where Rollins was wrestling 2 matches. If you guys recall, he had the US title and the world title, and Cena came out, beat him first for the US title, and then him and Sting wrestle. Sting gets hurt. The match doesn't end properly. But from my understanding, he was not supposed to win that match. So barring that he lost by interference or something like that, that's horrible booking of the legend Sting, who's finally in a WWE ring. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to lose to someone after they just took the FU or the attitude adjustment from Cena and got pinned 1, 2, 3. Then he's going to lose. That's just makes no sense, as Sting always stayed away from WWE after the buyout and all that. He just never really, allegedly, word has always been that, you know, he didn't really trust how he would be booked with Vince McMahon in the world of WWE. And I gotta agree. I mean, we've seen WCW after WCW star kind of made a mockery of and just not really used very well. I mean, there's a couple guys who went on to achieve big things, but for the most part, the WCW guys got buried. And we know how Vince McMahon is. He did amazing things with his promotion and with pro wrestling, took it to new heights, but he's a bit of an egomaniac. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but I wouldn't trust him if I was Sting neither. So fast forward to where we are now, what he had been doing in the AEW up to this point, this is the right way for him to retire. But back to the whole Goldberg thing. Comment and let me know if I'm wrong. I've never really heard of this story regarding Bill Goldberg getting into pro wrestling. I always heard something about Diamond Dallas Page, the power plant, and maybe Bischoff having something to do with it. I can't recall exactly, but it just kind of feels like Bill Goldberg is spinning some ish to try to get himself in this mix, or, you know, trying to make it like, I tried to do what I could. This is what made sense, but they wouldn't book me. I don't know. I mean, you let me know what you think. And I don't know. I mean, it is a possibility that Sting was his motivation from the beginning and it's never been shared with the people before. I don't know. But what I do know is that whole part where he was saying he didn't really have a love for the business. And again, I'm paraphrasing, is to me why a lot of individuals have always kind of looked at Goldberg a certain way. He was a guy that got pushed to the moon and really could care less about pro wrestling, where a lot of the other guys, this business, this, art form, sports entertainment, pro wrestling has been their life, and then a guy like Goldberg comes in and gets the push that he does. It is what it is. But let me know what you think about him trying to be involved in Sting's retirement match. Sting's retirement match upcoming, the WWE conversation, all that. And if you think it's better off Goldberg is not involved, let's talk about it all below in the comments, and make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more, as that's what it's all about over here, is talking with you guys about pro wrestling, old, new, and everything in between. But something else interesting I noticed going on with Bill Goldberg today is I saw a lot of people wishing him a happy birthday, right? And aside from that, I saw a lot of stuff about this being a day in pro wrestling history where the undefeated streak was snapped as he lost to Kevin Nash at that pay-per-view after getting the cattle prod or taser from Scott Hall. And it's so wild to think that those days are one and the same, that the day his undefeated streak ended seems to be his birthday. I never ever knew this, as that's been a debate and a discussion for a long time, if that was the right move to kill the undefeated streak. I really didn't think it was, personally, and I think it flucked it all up, as WCW just, it blows my mind how great they did, beating out the WWE and having the NWO storyline and seemingly winning the Monday Night Wars, to turning around and just being a joke, a laughing stock for their last couple years, and then being bought by Vince McMahon. Like, it's totally bipolar, the highs and the lows in the most extreme ways you can speak of them. But there was a lot of talk if that was the right move, and if Nash was using the stroke that he had, if you will, to sabotage Goldberg for not liking him or just wanting to kill the momentum that he had. And a lot of guys think it was the right move, a lot don't. Again, comment and let me know your thoughts. But it's so wild to think that on top of all that, it was Goldberg's birthday. And I feel like Nash had to know that. I don't know. But it's something I never noticed previously. And now knowing this, it just kind of blows my mind. It makes that infamous day in history, killing the streak, even more crazy. The fact that it was his birthday, apparently, is what it seems like to me. So get in the comments and let me know what you think about all this. Again, Sting, the retirement match, hell, Goldberg's retirement match, we know the way that it went with WWE. Vince wanted to put his career out, put a bow on it all, as Goldberg won the WWE title once again in that contract that he had a couple years ago, which was another situation that made no sense at all. That was booked, him defeating, squashing the Fiend, R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. Make sure you check out the channel. My previous video is about the Fiend and the grieving process and all that, man. But that was just idiotic to squash him the way they did, and Goldberg of all people to do it. But in the end, Vinnie Mac wanted him to retire on that run, and it didn't happen, and Goldberg has been talking about how he's going to possibly do it on his own terms. We've heard AEW mentioned. We've heard him possibly booking his own show. He's mentioned it happening in like 4 different cities, maybe being a little mini tour across the world, Jerusalem being one of the cities and all that. I don't know, though. I don't know how that'll go. I don't know if we'll ever see that, but who knows, man. Maybe him trying to politic his way into the Sting thing. He wanted to end his career that way too. Who knows? But I'm glad he's not involved in the Sting thing. Personally, again, let me know what you think. But man, the streak, the birthday, really just blows my mind. So Let's talk about it all below in the comments. Again, subscribe for more pro wrestling talk. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.